So with the front fender being dropped down, this also gave us the ability to give us a much more dramatic front filler panel. Right here basically is the panel between the hood and the grille section. This actually has about 4 inches added to it, which again just kind of gives a little bit more of a longer look, a more modified look. And also we were able to change a little bit of the peak dimension. And this has actually got a lot more pinpoint and peak to it, much like the bumper and the lower valance.
We're working on the header panel for the Camaro. We need to extend it. Sometimes the easiest way to do it is just to buy a replacement panel and use what you need of it and combine it with the original one, so that's what we're going to do. The original one, I think it's still white, and the back part of it is the replacement panel, which is black. Basically, all we need to do is just extend it front to back. We needed to come up with some distance for the radiator and whatnot. Use the back half of the replacement panel and then the front part of the original. Set a decent gap to the hood and get it going. There's some support brackets that's inside the replacement panel and the original. I'll get rid of all that stuff because all that will have to be lengthened as well. But once I have the front part of it set kind of to the front part of the fenders, I'll set the back part overlapped with a certain gap to the hood, which is 3/16, that's what we usually do. Cut it, scribe it, make sure it's all fitting good, start welding it together. Typical butt weld, I'll kind of have it in the middle of the panel. That way I got easy access to hammer and dolly work. It'll all be TIG welded. As long as I get it tacked together and fitting decent on the car, I can pull it off, weld it off the car, hammer and dolly it off the car, put it back on and kind of do some tweaks there, but this will be fairly easy compared to the rest of the car. I'll have everything that I can, you know, I'll have the hood in place, the fenders will be on there, the pieces that I have, the front parts of the fender, they'll be sitting there where I need them. I'll have as much information as I can to make sure that I have it sitting in the correct spot when I make every permanent weld. This front end has been a trip. I mean, a lot of it's been straightforward, but a lot of it, you know, we didn't really know what we were doing until we kind of saw it in front of us. And we've been making a lot of changes along the way, but I think it's heading in a good direction now for sure.
Okay, so then the only other thing, like, look at this peak.
Love it.
And figure out this line a little better. I just see it as a little sharper through here, but
How's the back? How sharp's the back? It's got a pretty big radius on that back end, so we don't want it to look like we just put another back on front. But at the same time, take a look at an original 69. Without the bumper on it, comes down and cuts back hard. It does have a little bit more, it actually has almost a reverse curve before it goes inverted.
it's kind of a weird perspective though, because
At a straight angle, you're right.
it has
right here,
it does kind of
it
look
goes
like it's a
way
big
different
radius.
because it's so much curved in right here compared to what we got.
So I'm not talking like crazy sharp, but just somewhere in between here and sharper.
I don't hate where it's at. We'll just radius that in. That radius right there is reminiscent of the stock lower air dam that would be on a 69. It has a slight angle and then a radius. And that's what normally hangs down. We're basically taking what would be the stock one and kicking it up is kind of what the idea is.
And I was thinking if because we're tipping this in, we're going to be back here a little ways, maybe we have a little flat on the end before the radius.
Exactly,
Yeah, okay.
just like the original.
Yeah, but then make them meld together but not look like the same piece.
Yeah, pretty cool. A lot of really intense work inside of here. Given the two-tone, really again gives us that look of this is maybe what it might have looked like, or if you blur your eyes at a really cool resto mod, this might be what you're looking at.
I'd like to get this edge tipped, get this radius bent over, get some perimeters, you know, so I can kind of lock in my panel and shorten up a couple of these things because they're holding the fenders out still. They're still a little long. So yeah, that's next on the list.
Tipping is a term that we use when we basically are building a flange on a panel. The reason why we do that is you don't really want to weld at the peak of a joint. It's much easier to tip the panel, control the panel with the shape of it, and then when you go to do a weld, if you've tipped it and you're away from that edge, then you can hammer that weld and deal with the weld on its own. It just makes life a lot more easier, and it makes the thing last longer.
About as much as my luck as I want to bring it around to 90 or so, and then start shrinking or stretching on this to get this profile back to where it was before I started. If I can duplicate it on the other side, I'll be excited.
Like and subscribe.
Is that what we say?
Is that what we do?
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
The piece that Howard's needing to make now is the interior cove of the front end of the car. It's going to be part of the fender because this fender really comprises a whole big corner of the car. It's the interior of the cove, and ultimately you're going to have a chamber inside there. I mean, it's, geez, how to explain it? It's not a single layer piece of sheet metal like the outer fender, and then you're going to be looking at the backside of it. It's all finished off on the inside also. It's ultimately a rather intricate piece that if you didn't have it, it would really look a mess.
So on the front of the car, when we were basically doing all of the mock-up, we knew that we wanted to deepen the grille assembly. This was going to give us a couple of different options. By bringing the wheelbase forward, we already knew we were going to stretch the front fenders behind the wheel well to the door. That section was getting stretched out 3 inches. We also added another 3 inches, maybe a little closer to 4 inches up here. And this also gave us the ability to kind of give us a little bit of a dramatic drop on this front corner of the fender.
So the tops of these front fenders, they've been widened and lengthened, a lot like the rear hips of the car, so that we can get the width, not only in the flare, but in the top of the fender also.
This has too much arc to it because we moved it back. I'm curious, are we just gonna unskin the hood, or do you want us to try to match it with the fender, and then I don't know what we do with the front and back?
My thought is make sure this flows into the hood, this flows into the hood, and then this emulates the shape.
So change the fender.
Let's make sure this flows from here to here. Let's make sure this height is where it needs to be for it to flow. And then maybe we need to look at pushing this around a bunch to get it to flow the same. As long as this hood is not more crowned than this outer edge, to where they don't jive, then I would say, yeah, why not? Chase the hood.
and then check that template on here and make sure it's not higher crown. And if it is, then we have to do something else.
You don't want to look across the fender and this is,
More crown than this.
yeah, or there's so much crown that then all of a sudden this is heading uphill to nowhere, right? If this can head uphill and flow across here, this flows, then great. Like this needs a little more shrink in the flange to pick this inner edge up, because right now, yeah, it feels like the peak's right here and then it levels or goes downhill. Just like usual, we're trying to work the 10%, not the 90%. So let's figure out what is correct, or what is it. If the hood is correct and we like it, then let's work this, but paying attention all the while that we're not building something that we don't like.
Change the fender. Change the fender. Huh?
Just built all this stuff like big, you know?
No, it's off the line. Yeah. Oh, I do know.
Just as a really, really cool flow to the car. Again, it still looks like a 69 Camaro, but much improved. The guys did a beautiful job in the metal shop as well as in the body shop by keeping all of the body lines extremely sharp. We wanted these really sharp, not softened like what we normally do on a resto mod or even a restoration. The quarter panels, again, the door skin, as you've seen, we've actually added a lot of shape in the end of the door skin, which now flows into the quarter panel. We've added 3 inches in the top of this quarter panel to really give it that kind of the hip look. We've given a little bit more boldness to the quarter panel, as well as building our own reveal that is telltale for a 69 Camaro. Really, one of my very favorite parts about a 69 Camaro is specifically those body lines. Where you have that really beautiful scallop comes back. What we've done is we've increased the height of it. We've also moved the wheel well back and the wheelbase back 1 inch to the rear. This really just kind of gives us a little bit longer, lower, more mean look, especially from any 3/4 view of this car. It is ominous, especially if you park a stock one next to it.
Okay, so we're widening this Camaro, and you know, you could put flares on it and hide the tires, and that'd be really cool and all, but we really want to widen the flanks. And the Camaro has this kind of really cool upper body line that really defines the upper part of the quarter, and it kind of has a shelf. That runs along there, and so we're trying to widen that so the car actually has kind of hips.
pretty big. I might need a hand holding this up. Might be a little too big to try to get on my own. Just kind of hold this back. It doesn't need to be together, but just hold it so it doesn't fall down on you. Looks like a puzzle piece now, huh? Put a lot of work into these. I'm going to be happy to be done with it.
This car is really wild because the flare starts basically, and the widening process basically starts well in the door. So we have to follow that all the way back and then decide and determine how wide do we want the car at the rear, past the trunk. So all of these things we have to take into account.
Pretty long weld. Seemed to do all right. I'll get it hammered out and then move on to the next one. Yeah, so the quarter is, I'd say, at like 95%. Got the fender flare welded in, everything's been extended and planished out. This is our first test fit, so a couple spots we're looking is making sure that we're gonna be rolling into this rear cowl piece, making sure our window frame's looking good, and then the rear section back here, but it clicked on, so that's a good sign. We're gonna get the rest of this cleat coat in, and then we'll see where we're at, and hopefully be able to weld this up today. That's the plan, and we're sticking to it.
So Eric's tying up a couple loose ends. He is welding the trunk gutter. Just some overlap joints that very easily you weld up, and then they're much easier body work and will last longer. And then a little more intricately, up on the upper sail panel, we're going to actually be removing the overlap original piece where you would have put lead, and we will shape a panel and weld that panel in, and it'll just be that much nicer. Ultimately, you'd never know, but we know. So Eric's here working on the jam. He's just straightening out some work that we did where we widened it. You'll see him pull on it a bunch with the stud gun, and it's a very useful tool. The transmission and drive shaft tunnel in this car is very unique because it has a really wild transmission in here. It's a dual clutch transmission, and it's rather large. So it's been a thing. We have made a tool to outline the size of it. We've built the sheet metal to encompass that. Obviously, we have some exhaust and stuff that goes through there too. But yeah, the trans tunnel in this car has been a whole thing on its own. Basically, there is nothing original on this car, especially not in the floor. It's got a full chassis in here. It's all unibody structure, you know, where before it would have had subframes and leaf springs mounted to the body. Completely new. A lot of intricacy, obviously. Area for the drive shaft. Drive shafts usually end up very high in these cars. And then the transmission tunnel is gargantuan for this DCT transmission.
Come on in, Will. We'll go down. Okay, keep going. We can go forward a little bit. Howard, are you okay on that side? Okay. Yeah, keep coming down. You can go a little bit more. You're good.
How much more am I going to be able to go in? Because I'm not twisted around in here enough now.
If you were to turn, it would bring us back over to the driver's side like we need.
Yeah, I know, but I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get in far enough.
Oh.
Which way? More?
Yeah, you can come towards me. And it's fine if you go into, like, the way that you're going, if
I know, but see this corner? Ultimately, putting the engine in, the biggest factor of it is the weight.
Here you go. There it is. Yeah, come on down. Yeah, we'll have to level it.
I mean, you got a essentially 500-pound, you know, lump. Back up and tilt forward.
Yeah.
Real good. We just need to go back.
We're like
Straight.
basically just the width of the motor mount off at this point.
Yeah.
So go
Raise it up first.
go up
Yeah.
just a tiny bit. Okay.
No matter how stiff you think these cars are, you put that engine in there, it's gonna change it. We're almost there. I think we're good now.
Is that it? I mean, I'm up on the firewall back there.
This Camaro, the one that we had in here, they decided they didn't want to use, so we're going to
Working right?
a different version. Okay, now we'll pick it up just enough to get the transmission
Yeah. What's
cross
leaking
member
oil?
back in there. We don't have to change anything because we didn't do the things that we knew we were gonna have to change. So that's why we're putting the engine in here now, because the difference in the supercharger means all the differences in the plumbing for the intercooler, the intake itself, and the hood design and construction. So yeah, we have basically avoided everything that we needed to mess with. We have to take all that into consideration when we're lining stuff up and throughout the entire build. That weight has to be in there. We've been waiting on this thing a while. So now it's here, and we can build a hood and the intake plumbing. Yeah, big step. It's awesome.
So now that all the metal fabrication is done with the car, it's time to get the design out to make sure that everything's been finalized, get this car's bodywork finished up, and get it in the booth. Like and subscribe.
Is that what we say?
Is that what we do?
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Like and
I
subscribe.
gotta start saying that more. Like.
Like
Why don't
and
you
subscribe.
scroll down and hit that like button and subscribe?